Hello, welcome to another Tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence. I'm Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Lakeside Path, 8 by 12, and I finished this a couple days ago. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with it. Happy to share with you. Sorry, the drawing portion of the painting wasn't recorded properly, so. This is all you get there, but there are a lot of good color stuff, and if you're really interested in the whole color mixing aspect, which I know a lot of people are, try joining the members area, where I'll take you through a breakdown of the colors I used to do the main constituent colors of this painting. Yeah, and that just doesn't work out in the 15-minute videos. It just slows things down too fast, and at the end of the day, these are painting demonstrations, so I'm just basically sharing how the paintings come together with you. But I try and get some teaching and information in there too. I know that people are hungry for that. And now, speaking of it, we're working on some hardboard here, and it's been coated with 2 layers of transparent gesso. The underpainting slash drawing was done with burnt umber. And you can see in some areas I went pretty heavy with the burnt umber, and burnt umber is fairly dark. The reason for using the burnt umber is it's a very quick dryer, so in some cases I only have time to maybe do the underpainting before I have to go do something else, and that'll be dried to the touch almost the same day, really, as we move into summer here in the southern hemisphere. That's definitely how it works. That burnt umber dries fast, and a lot of painters starting out wonder about that, because one of the only real downsides to oil paint is that it doesn't dry as quickly as people like. I've been using alkoyd medium since the start, so that really speeds up drying. But what a lot of people aren't aware of, that are just starting with painting, is that different pigments have different properties. Like burnt umber is a very fast drying pigment, where lamp black or ivory black dry very, 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 very slow. And then that's the range. Actually, all the other colors will dry in between. Now, this painting I did over 2 days, so I got the sky in, I got the drawing in, the sky in, and then I finished the land portion the next day. And it ended up looking okay on camera, which is great. What colors did I use? Like I say, there's a lot of that in the members area, but I don't mind sharing the basic palette with you. So we got these bluish purple tones. That would be a little bit, I think, ultramarine in this one, a little bit of dioxazine, purple, and not a big factor here. So if you have like a color element in your painting that's disparate, you need to bring it in line. So I chalked in quite a lot of, say, burnt sienna and raw umber into that bluish purple, so that it would fall in with the other colors in the painting, since there's not a lot of that. There is a lot of like mauve colors, which is, different people think mauve is different things, but purplish to reddish clay tones, right? And the purple very subtle, like say in the path and down in the water. I'm working in a more limited painting is working in a very tonal color spectrum. There are greens and there are blues of a type, but they're not bright blues. There's a lot of red in this painting. In fact, red is sort of humming through the whole painting, and the thing that ties everything together. Everything's really sort of hanging off of the underpainting tone. There are times I would do an underpainting tone like this and go completely different direction with the colors over the top, though. So something to keep in mind. Yeah, oh, yellow ochre, cad yellow. That's my dog barging in. Lay down. That's the new puppy. So this is why this is my third take with this video. Maybe you can hear him in the background crying. Anyway, oh yeah, yep, he wants to be with his big brother, Jerry. We just got the puppy 2 days ago, so everything is up in the air. Everything's being swapped around and changed. So, yeah, I'm working off, I've done this before, you know, I've worked in various modes, like I would call this clay tone mode. So we're pivoting off the clayish colors into ochres and yellows, and I think one thing that's nice is that sort of bright white. Now in the video here it's a little coming off a little brighter than it would be in real life, and I have to say this camera, my Panasonic video camera, does a good job in general, but if you've got something very, very bright in the scene like that, the camera's gonna go, it averages everything out and goes, oh, I'm gonna blow this out a little bit. You know, that's just how mechanical eyes see, really. Yeah. Working in now in the dark areas here. I've been experimenting quite a lot lately with, instead of just plain black, I'm working in some burnt umber, black mixed with some burnt umber in it. Pardon me. And that's helping speed up the drying, for one. For two, it's giving me a kind of a warmish tone in those darks there, which is congruent with this this color scheme in this painting. There might be times I don't want that. I want the coolness of the actual ivory black. And generally speaking, shadows will be cooler. Almost always, actually, shadows will be cooler than the midtones or the highlights. Yeah, that's something to definitely shoot for. And a lot of people that make their chromatic blacks and things will, like I used to use a chromatic black that was phthalo and alizarin. That definitely had a cool feel to it, and a purplish feel too. Yeah. Anyway, what I did end up doing here, though, is like at a certain point, I felt like I needed to go in with actual black to go in a little further with it. My technique on painting a tree was pretty interesting, and I find the technique adapts for different types of trees. Now, this type of tree isn't like, I haven't painted this kind of tree for a while. A bunch of little bits, kind of clumps, and I used my brush technique that I call my sort of Van Gogh technique, but like I can dial that technique in where the strokes are very apparent, very separate, or if I just work them a little more, things merge in. But you can see how the colors broke up. You know, you're seeing bits of different color, bits of different green, bits of different red, and I think that came out pretty good. Also, there's some good modeling on that tree there, and the tree, of course, I see as the main focal point. Yeah, and this scene, I've done it a bunch, really. I love to reinterpret scenes I've painted before. They always come out very, very different. Sometimes I've done this as a vertical. I've done it where the path is like a little lower. And that's a bit of a tip for you. You know, it's a good idea to take your own reference for your landscape paintings. If you, you know, just grab a lot of things off the internet, at some point you could be as famous as you are hoping that you'll be, you know. That could really bite you on the bum, so you don't need that. You want to have basically use your own photo reference. Tips as far as that goes is, and this is sort of where I was headed, is a lot of times it's good to move your personal perspective down, like bend your knees and get a lower perspective. Don't just stand there at that human level and shoot your camera, you know, and you, that might not occur to you otherwise, but that'll make better reference photos. Also, of any given scene, you really want to take a bunch of photos, and what you'll find is only a few of them are going to be usable for paintings, and even those will be full of tons of things that you need to ignore, change, For example, in this reference photo, all of those, you see the more distant trees and things I'm painting way smaller in the photo reference. So I always make that kind of thing a bit larger. Yeah, and I do a lot of designing and work with my photo reference prior to painting. Get things really set up and looking attractive, or at least different. I will tilt the image into a color cast. Now I've got a lot of skills in Photoshop, so that sort of thing for me is pretty easy to do. But if you don't, you can actually take your photo into something like Instagram and use those Instagram filters. There's also a lot of things that come that are downloadable for your phone that'll take your photos for a ride, and experiment with that and have fun with it. I see the painting as being the end result of the process, though, so I don't mind if things get a little weird or garish with that photo reference, because it's all designed to be done. The painting is the final realization. I am the final filter and arbiter of how that painting will look, and that's a process of stroke by stroke, right? And I've been working with a lot of students lately, and it's interesting, different levels. Like I have some that are incredibly advanced, really as good as I am artistically, just younger, don't know things because I have more experience, but as far as ability, talent, and quality of work, it's already there. And then I have some that are really in the amateur spectrum, and then I have some that are in between, but what I could say, no matter what level you're at, if you work more, you'll get better. No question. There's no way to become an extremely competent artist, even if you're intensely talented. It's impossible to be doing work at a master sort of level without putting in the hours. And it's not like you need to spend 8 hours a day. I mean, you can just make it a point to paint every day, and your progress will be very rapid. Also, one of the reasons I love to paint small is that I just want to keep doing different paintings, The larger you work, the longer things can take to do. But it's all good. Different people have different goals. Some people are only interested in doing large paintings. For my part, I have a pretty small house, small studio. I don't have room to sit on a lot of large things. So, now towards the end of the video here, I'm sorry, there's a garbage truck outside the window. Hopefully you don't hear too much of that. This is a very early morning video for me, which is rare, but this puppy got us up very early today, so I thought I'd get this done, get it burning, and hopefully get it up today for you. What was I going to say? Sorry, I got distracted. I was going to talk about the book. Okay, so I have approved a proof of the book, and there's always trade-offs with print versus what's happening on the screen, but it looks pretty dang good. It looks fine, and won't be very long before I have 50 of these things, and mostly I did them for sale to students here in my local area, but I will be maybe doing a little quick video, and any of you out there in the rest of the world that want to get your hands on it, I'm going to make a link. I'm going to have a place in my store, and probably a page for it, so that'll be the physical copy. The digital aspect, I don't know when or how I'm going to do that, but the information in this book is timeless, so it will probably go through some different permeations anyway, but I will be having a physical copy available, and because I did just a run of 50, they're astronomically expensive, but I mean, not like hundreds of dollars, but it costs me a lot to print each one. But my plan is to maybe add like you know, something like $15 or so, and so that I can work towards printing some more and marketing it and things like that. And then the exorbitant shipping costs from New Zealand. So it's not like I'm promoting this book. I'm just saying I'm going to make it available to fans and people that have been looking for that information in a form like that. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, until I come back with another video, do me a favor, do me a solid, take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Stay out of trouble, and God bless you and your family.